Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to my live quilting chat, Tipsy Tuesday. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our first Tipsy Tuesday episode of 2021. Yay! Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to welcome you all, and whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, thanks for being here to kick in to this year of 2021. I know many of you are not sad to see 2020 go and are excited about 2021. So are we. We appreciate everything. So you gotta just appreciate what we went through and go with full heart and optimism into 2021. So make sure wherever you're watching, make sure you state your name and where you're watching from in the comments. It's always fun to say hi to old friends, and if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. This kickoff, of course, I'm so thankful for having you here. This show, I'll be talking about our first project of the year. Yes, the first quilt along, our Wanda quilt along, will officially kick off next week. So I am going to tonight answer all your last minute questions and all of that. So make sure you post those questions in the comments. We will try and go through them. I'm going to spend extra time making sure I try and detail everything so we're all ready to go. Now, please use your thumbs up and hearts. We love that throughout the show if you see something you like. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you will never miss a show and you will get notified whenever we go live. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure to like our page, GE Designs. And then of course, sign up for those notifications. Then we will just pop up and you won't miss anything. We of course have 2 giveaways every Tipsy Tuesday episode. So the more you comment, the better chance you have to be our live winner. And then at the end of the show, we will post a question. I will ask a question and you can post that answer in the comments. So even if you're not catching us live, you still have a chance to win. And for that answer, we will pull a winner for the next show. So last show was, of course, in 2020. So my question was then, how will you ring in the new year? And our winner from last year is Brenda Abernathy. Her answer was staying close to home with the 2 fur buddies, and my son will be home from college in a few days. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Congratulations, Brenda. You have won a $25 gift card to the GE store. We will get a hold of you, and if you are seeing this, make sure you send us a message or an email, and we can get you that gift card fast so you can go shopping. So I hope you had an awesome New Year's celebration. We were fortunate enough, of course, to be able to spend it with all of our kids and our grandson, all in the same house and nicely nestled in a rental house in Napa Valley. It was beautiful. It was nice to get a little bit out of the cold, right? Mr. Honey Producer, he's here with us, of course. Yes, say hi to HP.
Happy New Year. We're back.
Well, California was of course under stay-at-home orders, so we stayed home, and which was kind of a beautiful thing. It allowed us a lot of time together. I can kind of imagine if we were all in Napa during this time, people would be kind of exploring and going all over the place, but this way we were all staying together. We played lots of games. We love playing games, a very competitive family. We even did a Zoom virtual wine tasting because all the wineries are closed, but we were literally in between 2 wineries on one side and another one on the other side from us, just a mile down the road. So we actually did a virtual wine tasting with them. They allowed us to go pick up the wine, and then we Zoomed the sommelier and another lady from the winery, and it was an amazing experience. It was kind of nice to just chill. Don't we have some photos? Do we have a photo of us sitting on the deck during our wine tasting? Yes, we're sitting out on the deck. It wasn't, of course, sunbathing weather, but some people were wearing scarves and hats. Others short sleeve t-shirts.
Well, when you got a bald head.
Yeah, well, then there's the Icelander that's wearing the t-shirt, so there's the difference. Of course, as you may notice, somebody noticed this, there is club crackers, never too far away.
Gotta have clubs.
Had to have clubs and Merlot cheese to go with the wine, right? Was a given. We did some yoga. Mr. Honey Producer, aka yoga teacher, led us through some morning stretches. It was beautiful, with the sun in our face. And then we did a photo shoot. Of course, this little guy was the gem. I spent a lot of time with him. It was beautiful to be able to wake up with him every morning and have our moments. It was just an amazing time. Miss him already. This is Johan, my grandson Johan. And yes, we did a photo shoot. So there are all 5 kids, just missing Sam, my daughter-in-law, but we did a professional photo shoot, so I cannot wait to get those photos, all kinds of individual shots and stuff. But we absolutely loved it. But most of all, it was lots of laughter, lots of love, as it should be. Now, one of the games we played is something that Mr. Honey Producer organized. So we have been kind of binging Survivor through the holidays, Survivor shows. And so old episodes, I used to watch it all the time, and kind of life got in the way, so I never really watched a full season. And they have what 40 seasons.
40 seasons?
Yeah, so we've been binging those. Anyways, so he set up a Survivor competition, just team competitions. So we split the group into 2 teams very randomly. So there was Team 1 and Team 2, and so each had their little slogans. It was Team 1 and Done, Team 1 and Done, and then there was Team 2 for life. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a forever thing. We know that. But that was a lot of fun. Some of the events, what were some of the events? There was some balancing events where you had to balance on one leg with a glass of water on your thigh. And I mean, the kids are so competitive. Because we both beat them the first time around, they all had to do it again, just so they can make sure that they beat us in this. And then what was the other ones? It was something, it was a remote control car that Johan had gotten, and we had to get it to a certain place and then shoot a pool ball somewhere. And what else? There was a puzzle. It needs to be a puzzle. Every survivor needs to be a puzzle. So there was a dominoes puzzle that I rocked that one. Totally rocked that one.
You did great on that
one. What else? I don't remember what else.
Finding the immunity.
There was an immunity idol even involved. There was a hidden immunity idol that somebody had to find right after dinner to get out of washing dishes or cleaning up after breakfast one morning. So one team found the idol, so the other team cleaned up. Luckily, my team found the idol. Svana found the idol, so yes. I didn't have to do both cooking and cleaning that day, but it was really a lot of fun. We had such a blast, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday yourself. I also started the year with a new baby niece being born. So my sister had a baby on January 2nd, and she FaceTimed me from the hospital. She was not expecting that early, but beautiful, her 5th child, her 4th girl in the row. So I feel a little bit for my nephew, but he is, of course, going to have 4 girls wrapped around his fingers, and they're all going to adore him, their big brother. So beautiful girl, and of course, I see a baby quilt in my near future being made. I was kind of hoping to make a boyish theme, but I kind of tend to make a non-gender kind of quilts for babies anyway, so I can't wait to tackle that one. All right, so we had,
Kathy just got her first.
On December 4th, that's my birthday. What a special baby. Oh, that's amazing. Congrats, Kathy. They're so amazing, these grandkids, I can't tell you. All right, so moving on a little bit, I've been seeing a lot of Spruce Lane table runners posted. I know it's been the holidays, so a lot of people have been busy, so I get it that you're not getting to these projects right away. So it was posted on December 20th. And I just wanted to remind everybody that January 20th will be our second project, our January project, so second in the second trimester. So it's actually our fifth project in the Fast and Furious Club. And that is going to be the True Hearts table topper. I've got the pink version hanging here. We have two different kits available still in the shop. We have the pink one with a gray background and then the red hearts with a white background. So they're still both available, and it's going to be here before we know it. However, we also are getting ready for our February project, which is the baby quilt, the Pitter Patter baby quilt. Now, we have sold a lot of kits already. We sold out of the neutral kits, but this one just got listed in the store, the animal cracker. So let me just show you quick what's in that since we're talking about it. So this has been listed in the store, just saying sold out. So some of you that signed up for notifications when that came in probably got one today. So we have the animal different colors that are going in all the colors of the quilt, and we have the background. This is the backing, 1 yard of backing, and then the binding, this really fun print for the binding. So this is now available, and you can snatch this up in the store if you wanted to make the animal cracker version of this. But I think we're going to kind of move right into our Wanda quilt along. I know you have questions. A lot of you have been getting ready, getting your fabrics ready. Should we talk about the quilts hanging behind me first, or should we do that later? I'm sure y'all are wondering. So we have in the corner is the Honey Quilt from the new Mixology 2 book, and I wanted to show that because we got Be Grateful. The fabric I used is in the store now. It was a pre-order, we got it in, and so if you pre-ordered, you probably got it already. And then we have on the wall, we have a brand new Sami quilt that Amy made, and I loved it so much I had to come and show it to you. And we actually got this fabric in the store, so I'm going to show it to you later tonight. But this one is just awesome. I love this version. So fun and bright to brighten it up this time of year. So love it, love it, love it. Anyways, moving on to our first quilt along of the year. Of course, not the last. We're going to have so much fun this year. We're going to have another very quilty year. January 12th is going to be our first kind of demo. So everybody kind of, if you want to follow along, this is going to be during our Tipsy Tuesday episode. So it's going to start on January 12th, which is next Tuesday. And so the demo is just going to be kind of a step-by-step. So first week, I'll demo the first blocks, and then second week, I'll demo the other blocks, and then the third week, we'll go into the sashing. And of course, whenever I do a quilt along, I give you tips that you are probably not going to find in a pattern. So very similar to if I was teaching you a class, giving you all kinds of little extra tips. And then, of course, I'm going to show you how to use the rulers for making the blocks and everything, the Stripology rulers, and then I also show you, of course, using just regular rulers that everybody has at home. So both ways, it's always beneficial to take part in quilt alongs, whether you want to actually sew along or not. Now, to find everything, we have put together a blog post that I have a link in the description. So if you're on YouTube, it's below. If Facebook, it's above. A direct link to that blog post. We always do that when we have an event so that you can go to the blog post and there you will find everything you need, links to everything you need. So for example, I had talked about fabric selection and tips on picking fabrics for this project earlier in December. So there are links to both of those episodes where I talk about that. So go through if you missed that, and if you're catching up and knew nothing about this until right now, you can do that, and then you can just go watch it. And then, of course, as we go along, that blog will be updated. So you can, if you missed a live episode or you just want to go back and watch it, at least the next day we will update the blog with a link. So if I have a Tipsy Tuesday episode on a Tuesday night, the next day we will have the blog post. So you can always go there to find everything, as well as if we need links to any particular things. So a lot of you I know have started on the Wanda quilt, and that's totally fine. I totally understand. Some of you are just making test blocks, and of course, many of you can't just stop at one. It's just like piece of chocolate. Sometimes you just can't stop at one. Lay's potato chips. I think somebody commented on that. Maybe cheddar cheese, white cheddar popcorn. There's no way at one handful.
That's impossible.
No, it's the bag or nothing for him. But it's totally understandable, and you can post your photos of your blocks and your quilts. Not a problem. It's just going to encourage people to join us and join in, and also to try new color and fabric combinations. So I really encourage that. I just, however, ask that you respect the ones that really want to follow along and with my instructions, and don't start posting particular tips or ask questions about further in the process than we are. So of course you can ask questions about where we are in the process after each episode, totally fine, but don't move along. Let's follow along with everybody. You can sew ahead, don't worry about that. I don't care anything about that. You can post your photos. It's just about, if you start asking questions, it's kind of going to stress everybody out when they're not there. So is that cool? Are we good on that? Okay, so I'll be showing, like I said, I'll be showing you how to use the Stripology rulers, and that includes the XL, the squared, and the original, and then also just regular rulers. If you have any questions right now, please start posting them, because we're going to go through them and really try and answer all your questions. If you have questions about fabric choices or other things, just email those to help@gequiltdesigns.com. And like I said, in the first 2 episodes, we will only be making the blocks. So we'll only be using the 5-inch squares that you need for this. So you don't even need to worry about gathering all your background fabric or picking out your accent fabric until later. You can wait to see how those blocks turn out and then kind of do your auditioning with your blocks. So don't worry about that. And you still have time to get fabric. You know how fast we ship, so it's all good. If you're, like I said, and if you're unsure, if you got a background and you're not sure, just don't cut it yet, wait, and we can check it out. All right, so any questions coming up that you see, Mr. Honey Producer? Bonnie's doing a Halloween themed, 2 quilts. I love it.
Do we do anything else besides that?
No, so I did talk about that in the 2 episodes of Tipsy Tuesday in December. The prep you can do, if you want to, add a little bit of best press or magic sizing or starch to your squares if you're using pre-cut squares, or if you use it cutting up your squares. Treat the fabric first before you cut your 5-inch squares. But that's all I want you to do, really. Just have your 5-inch squares ready, because we're going to kick it off right from there using those squares. Sheila asked, should we choose 9 squares and group together before Tuesday? No, don't do that, because, of course, I'm going to give you tips on that. So that may be very helpful. So don't go through the stress of doing that. Just wait till after the show. And you got a whole week until the next episode. So you got plenty of time to keep up. And if you can't keep up, no big deal. The fabric is not going to go anywhere. Should we have our strips subcut for the 12th? No. So you don't even need to subcut your strips. If you're talking about strips, that you're probably talking about the background fabric. So you don't even need to cut your background fabric. We're just going to work with the 5-inch squares. All right, so.
What background did you use for Honey?
Background, it's the dark, the black is really the background. So it's kind of a dark charcoal. It's the little squares, and then I use it in the border too. It's the circle burst charcoal, which is black pretty much.
Someone has a question mark about the block. Where's the block?
The blog is on my website, so you can link. I included a link in the description of this video, but if you can just go to the website, gequiltdesigns.com, and on the top there is a blog tab. Click on that, and the blog post will be at the top to read. You have to click on it to read the full post. How many different fabrics do you recommend? So I'm assuming you're talking about the nine patches. I always say the more the merrier, but I think because it's easier with more variety to make scrappy 9 patches than not. What I used, I think I did, what did I do? I did almost a bundle. So I did 14 different fabrics, I believe, 12 to 14. So if you have at least 10, then you're good, because then you can have each 9 patch can have all different fabrics, no repeating of the fabrics. However, if you want to use 2 fabrics for your 9 patch, you can do that too. So if you want a scrappy version, a little bit more is always better, but if you want to control it, 2 fabrics for your 5-inch squares is also going to work.
Sam said that.
Oh, sweet. Sam posted a link to the blog. Thank you, Sam. That's my daughter-in-law, Sam.
Can I use charm packs?
Yes, charm packs. This pattern is designed to use 5-inch squares, so charm packs, or you can cut your own. So definitely. Oh, what's the quilt behind me on my right? That is my Sami quilt. It's a brand new quilt that Amy just made out of the Norma Rose fabric. And I loved it so much I had to borrow it for the show. And I think I may need to make one. How many 9 patches are there? So it depends on the size you're making. So the quilt is written for multiple different sizes. So the blocks are depending on the size of your quilt. Somebody asked, what fabric will I be using? I am using the Chardin d'Elysée bundle. I cut it into squares, and then some diagonal stripe for my accent. If you have a charm square and there are 40 different fabrics, is that okay? Absolutely. More the merrier, like I said. More the merrier. You probably will need a little more than 1 charm pack for, well, depends on the size again. Will you be doing a quilt along with spinning daisies later this year? We kind of did that already. We did that for our stripping on the side in November. So I kind of gave you all the tips on that block, so that should be easy to find. If you want to find previous Tipsy Tuesday episodes, go to my website and click on videos. There are sublinks from the videos, and one of them is Tipsy Tuesdays. There you can see all the episodes listed with a direct link to watch it, and it also tells you what was the topic in each episode, so it's really easy to find. I would guess kind of like November. Didn't we do that in November? I think so. Lori says, I'm trying to decide between lap size or twin. Here's the thing. You can start small and then just make more blocks. I guess, and that's sometimes where it's cool to kind of wait to get your backgrounds and accent stuff, fabrics. If you just want to start with a bunch of 5-inch squares, if you have some from stash or whatever, and then the quilt can grow. That has happened to me so many times where my quilts kind of started growing as the plans changed. Somebody said I have a hard time finding diagonal fabrics. Diagonal stripes. Well, they are sometimes hard to find. I just tend to order all the ones I can find because I like variety. But you don't have to use that. You do not have to use that. I talked about it in the fabric choices, how if you want things subtle, make certain choices. If you want things to stand out more, then find something that really kind of draws the eye to it. So it doesn't have to be a stripe or a plaid. The stripe or plaid just gives it extra movement, but there's other fabrics that will create that effect as well. I didn't catch that question. What was the name of the accent fabric on Sami? That's one of the 1 yards that we have from the same line. So I'll talk about that when I show you guys those fabrics. All right. Wanda Quilt Along starts next week, a week from today. January 12th at 7 p.m. Central Time during our Tipsy Tuesday episode. Lois says, can't decide if a diagonal stripe will look funny in the accent. I don't think it will. I'm using that, so you can see mine and then decide, but I like it. So the charm squares, we are actually going to do some trimming afterwards. So if your charm squares are not quite, exactly 5 inches, it's actually okay because we're going to trim it up. That's the beauty of this pattern.
Where's Sami?
Sami is also in the new book, just like Wanda. So it's in the new Stripology Mixology 2 book. Yes, and it is a fast one. Amy specifically said she loves this pattern because it's very fast and straight lines, easy to do. And what's great about this, because you used a bundle, and it's written for 10-inch squares, but you can, so when you're cutting up a bundle a half yard, you only get 4 10-inch squares, but then you have 8 inches left of the half yard, and you can cut a 5-inch strip and get a lot of the extras. So a bundle goes a really long way for that pattern. Can Wanda be a table runner? Absolutely. Do whatever you want. You can just make however many blocks you want your runner to be long and go from there. Like I said, I encourage rebel behavior, so you don't have to always follow the rules. I also saw somebody that wanted to make an in-between size between a lap and a twin. Absolutely. Make it a square. Do whatever. Do whatever works for you. All right. Karen says, I may have to do the Sami because that's my husband's name. That's awesome. Yeah, you have to make him a Sami. And it's a great one if he has certain interests. It's such a great pattern to show off kind of novelty fabrics or themed fabrics because you got really big pieces to show it off. So I think that'd be great. So somebody asked, what are you going to be stripping on the side as you do Wanda? Now, I always have something going on the side. So I have some secret projects going on the side. So I won't be showing you that yet. But I already made one of those brand new secret projects during some of my piecing over the holidays. Very excited about that.
Can you answer that question?
How many 5-inch squares do you get out of a half yard? Yes, I can answer that question. 24. You can get 24 5-inch squares out of a half yard. You get 3 strips. Each strip yields 8. So 8 squares.
Good work.
That's the kind of math I can do on the fly. And then you actually can get another 2.5-inch strip to use for your binding or something else. Do you ever see a picture of someone's rebel behavior and think, wow, I never envisioned that? Of course, all the time. This is what I love about doing sew-alongs, because I love to see my work or my patterns done in the multiple different colorways, because I'm a fabricaholic, complete fabricaholic, so I want to have all the fabrics. And I love different styles. As you can see in my books, I don't follow a certain style. I try everything. I just love to try different things. So I love to see things done differently and take in a whole different direction with my inspiration. So that's a beautiful thing. Absolutely love that. Would Sami work in flannel? Yes, Sami is one of those that's perfect for flannel because really straight pieces really would work awesome in flannel. Easy to do. I wanted to mention too, speaking of the colorways, any golf-themed fabric on the horizon. As a matter of fact, I ordered some, but I don't think it's coming until spring. Yeah, I did order golf fabric. That's the kind of stuff I love, finding something that's super unique, and that's the stuff I'm gonna buy. But as a matter of fact, that question about using different fabrics and people using different fabrics for my patterns, that's what I want. I feel like as an educator too, is that I want to train you into trying different things and taking you in different directions, because whenever you do go somewhere else that is out of your zone, you would never know that you like something or love something or discover something if you weren't taken there. So I think it's my duty to kind of push push you into trying different things. So that's why I love my quilt-alongs and everything, because people get to see so many versions and try, see versions and fabrics that they would never think of buying or using in their quilts, and it's such a surprise. A lot of that I got from my Venus quilt using the Tim Holtz fabrics, because people had seen these fabrics and be like, I don't know how you use these. And then when you see the quilt, it's a totally different thing. How do I decide group A or B for fabric? I will talk you through that in the first session. So we're going to talk about that next week. Easy, easy, easy. So any other questions? Are we ready to start looking at the new stuff? We got a lot of new stuff in the store while I was gone over the holidays. So, do I need the new book to have the Wanda pattern and do the quilt along? Yes. So the Wanda pattern is only in the book. You can get the book either in printed format or as an ebook. So if you are far, far away, if you're across the oceans, you can still get it as an ebook and have it downloaded instantly. Where do you talk about fabric selection? It was 2 Tipsy Tuesday episodes in December. Again, go to the blog, my website, gequiltdesigns.com, hit the blog, and then you will find the Wanda Quilt Along blog, and it has links to those videos. You can watch them right there. So you can kind of scroll fast forward into where I start talking about that. All right. Anything else? Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am? He's ready. You're ready to go. What's your fabric that you picked out for the Wanda?
I can't give that secret away.
Oh, that's awesome. Leslie says, that's why I like Fast and Furious. It gets me to do things outside my norm. That's awesome. It totally does. If you're used to making big quilts, it's really fun to be able to do something small like Fast and Furious.
You think the panel will work with?
Honey could work with a panel. I put the panel in the back. I didn't want it in the front of my quilt, but I thought it was really pretty, so I put it on the back of my quilt. I love to use panels for backs. It makes it really fun. All right. Cheryl asks, what's the drink of the night? It's Tipsy Tuesday. It's about tips, not drinks. But of course, we don't drink on Tuesday nights. Well, not on the show at least. And then Friday is when we have a cocktail. So there will be Friday cocktail. But my drink of the night was actually a really nice ginger peach tea. Was what I had before the show. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to have after the show, but that's what I had. Do you think scandi fabric will be available again? No, unfortunately, this was this year's scandi. There is a 2021 scandi coming, slightly different, but very cool as well. Very similar Scandinavian feel to it, but different from this one. So every year is different with Christmas fabric. You guys know that. It's Fast and Furious Club is our monthly club where there is a new project. It's a Quilt As You Go project. Like these small little projects, like this table topper is going to be our January project. And so you can join them in, a lot of people joined for the 9 months and purchase the full 9 months up front. And then so every month on the 20th of each month, you will get a pattern and a video class of me showing you how to make the project from start to finish. And like I said, it's Quilt As You Go. So after you're done piecing, you're done quilting it too. Put the binding on and pop it on your table. So really great little projects for gifts or just to have fun with, instant gratification. And you can buy them, like I said, in 9 months or in trimesters, or you can buy them individually as well. So just check it out on the website. There's a special link for Fast and Furious Club Season 2 is what we're in now. Season 1 was last year. All right, are there snack or sweet recipes for Wanda Quilt Along? Well, they are not ready, but maybe we'll need to think on that one. Little snacks would be good.
Yeah.
What are your favorite snacks right now?
Mine?
Yeah, Luna bars, right?
Yeah, the blueberry Luna bars.
Blueberry Luna bars.
It's delicious. Blueberry. Blueberry.
So they're healthy too, right?
Let's eat 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's not, I don't recommend that. Don't recommend that. But you know, we're doing a little reset every time in the new year. We kind of try and, after the holidays, kind of get rid of some of that sugar and stuff, at least for a little bit, for a few days. We'll see how long it lasts this year. But it's always really good. It makes you feel good, gets your energy going, so it's great. Is there a video of how you put your labels in your quilts? I don't believe I did have a show, a Tipsy Tuesday, on pieced backs, because usually I piece it into my backs. And so, you know, I talked about it. I didn't do a specific video, because every quilt is different. It depends on the sizes and how you want your label pieced in. If I'm using a lot of scraps, or if I'm just using a couple of fabrics with the strip of the label. But I did have an episode on quilt backs, so, and actually that is a separate video, so you can check that out. It wasn't specifically on piece backs, but check it out. All right. Somebody loves blueberry Luna bars too, of course. Yeah.
The lemon is good. The white chocolate is good. Kind bars are good too.
Yeah, kind bars are good. My favorite is actually the coconut, probably. I love the coconut. And kind of I'm okay with the carb.
What's a Luna bar?
Yeah, it's one of those protein, like energy bars.
Yeah.
It's really like a cookie, pretty much, almost, right? But it has a little more nutrition to it than a cookie. Yeah. A little bit more. All right, are we ready to kick into this? All the new fabric that came. So I'm going to start with the one behind me, because that is so eye-catching. A lot of you have been asking about this one. So this is fabric line that actually we've been waiting a really long time for. It's from Wanda. It's called Norma Rose. Beautiful, beautiful big florals with all kinds of fun, funky, modern fabrics in there as well. So it's by Natalie Barnes, and she has a design company as well. She designs patterns, but she actually used the Lucy quilt, my Lucy quilt pattern, to promote this line. But look at this, how cool this is. So, and I read a little bit about her inspiration. So Norma Rose was her mom's name, and so she included some of her mom's favorite things, like the big cabbage roses, the colorways, some of her recipe cards. So you'll see recipe cards kind of mixed in here. Little seedlings, and I love this print, the kind of directional but in irregular. Here's the recipe cards. So what I did with the bundle, I included kind of all the colored fabrics, not quite all of them, but I had it really nicely balanced with the greens and the turquoise and the teals and then the pink. So what you get from that is a really balanced quilt, if you were to put it all in a quilt, which all of these went into the Sami Quilt behind me. And then, so there are 4 background-ish or low volume fabrics that go with this line that we have in 1 yard. So you'll see, here's the recipe cards, and then the seedlings, and this is called Climbing Rose, and then the trellis. So the Climbing Rose is what Amy used for her accent for the Sami Quilt. So that's this one. And we had some, we didn't get all of the fabric that I had ordered. You know, we were missing some bolts, but we had some extra bolts. So what I did is I just cut them up. We cut them up into 1 yard. So we have a lot of these fabrics in 1 yards as well, so that if you wanted to throw in a little more or make a fun piece back or whatever, bindings, accents, borders, we got some extra. Not a lot, but some extras. So Norma Rose is the bundle. Absolutely amazing colors and fun prints. I love the variety between small scale and really large scale. So really, really cool. Cool effect. Then we have, let's talk about just Be Grateful, since we're talking about the quilts behind me. So Be Grateful is by Deb Strain and Moda. Of course, bee-themed fabric. So really pretty, classic. I think she tends to do one of these lines on a regular basis. So we got the really nice blacks going into gray. There's just nothing better than yellow and gray and black together, I swear. So taking those color of the bee from the nature and you put them together, and it's it's golden every time. So I love these light grays in here too. I love the shading difference, and then kind of bringing in the gray with a yellow into the lighter yellows. And I've talked about this before. I love when there's different shadings of the same color. So going into the more honey gold for this one. And I actually did do a recommendation if anybody wanted to use this for a Wanda quilt. I pulled out one of our Deco Stitch fabrics that is a really dark kind of a honey brown color. I don't remember what the color is called, but it's an awesome color to use as your accent with this fabric, because it would really kind of pull out all those darkest, goldest tones in this fabric. But this is Be Grateful. We got them in bundles. And we also have this fabric if you wanted the full line. So, of course, my bundles only have 12. But the full line, we have charm packs and layer cakes of this fabric as well in the store. All right. Next one up is another pre-order that we had come in, and we didn't get a lot of this, but this is Little Forester. So this is by Art Gallery Fabrics, and what they tend to do a lot of is taking fabrics that have been out before, recolor them, and then put them together with other popular things. It's kind of a smart idea if there's a print that's really popular to kind of do it again, and so then pair it with really cool different textures. So I added also some basics in here to complete the bundle. So we have the Forest Friends here, the blue colorways into the tree stumps, and then you'll notice this fabric is the same as was in our neutral baby quilt bundle or baby quilt kit, but this is a totally different colorway. It's a little bit of a taupey background, and then the greens, and then the fox is red and all that. So different colors, but very similar print. And then this one I love, the owls with all of these blues and rusty orange tones and mustard yellow. I just really love the uniqueness of the colorway. And then we have the squirrels, the baby squirrel and the mama squirrel, and we even have some bees and some animal tracks, and then into the two golds that I added to kind of balance things out. So we have a nice kind of from darkest blues into the lighter blues, going straight into those lighter kind of honey colors and golds. Love it. So very pretty. Even though it's called Little Forester, I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it's juvenile at all, so it doesn't necessarily have to be for babies. I just love the fabric. Then we have another pre-order. Who loves coffee? Coffee lovers. So this is called Coffee Shop. So we had, this is from Wyndham, this fabric line. So very cool, kind of a coffee shop. So we have croissants, all kinds of coffee themed fabrics. These would be great for any coffee lover, of course, especially if you love coffee and croissants, because look at this. But I think these would be really fun for table runners, for placemats. We have a Cup of Joe placemat that has, this would be awesome in. We have, of course, coffee beans, and these colors are from the dark blacks into the browns, all the cool designs for your lattes and stuff. I don't even know what that stuff is called because I don't drink coffee. I love the smell of coffee, cannot drink it. And then, of course, all the coffee cups from the coffee shop. Then we have them in the light tones. So we have the multi-fabric, we have the croissants, and then we have the kind of typography with all the signs and the cups on the light background. So you'll see there's a light background here that's coffee beans. So we have this coffee bean fabric also in 1 yard. So it's this one, but in this tone. And I decided to do that, so if somebody wanted to do a background, you could use that one that goes great with this line. So this will be really cool for any kind of a themed fabric. Who's a coffee lover out there? Anybody? Anybody love their coffee? Who cannot function before they've had a cup or 2 or 5? I know you're out there. Okay, so the next one is a small line that I've been waiting for a long time, and we finally got all 8 pieces I put into the bundle. And this is called Travel the World. and we didn't get, of course, as much as I wanted. This is just really pretty. So we have Paris, San Francisco, we have New York. So kind of travel theme, but I love the colorway. So I just chose, stayed with 8 pieces. So we have 4 lights and 4 darks. And look at this one, of course. Love the diagonal plaid. So you have lights and darks. You have that same fabric in the black. And then what a perfect color. What will be the perfect accent color, you guys? Yes, pull in some red and you got your great background, great accent. And then grays, there's grays throughout. You can use a light gray for a background so that these guys would stand out. Or you can make a quilt that is lights and darks, like Kira or Nova or any of those. And it'll be an awesome quilt. But love these fabrics. And really wish I would have gotten more, but it is what it is these days. All right, so the next one is for all of those that love orchids and dragonflies and butterflies. Check this out. So this is from Northcott. It's called Orchids in Bloom. Really gorgeous, gorgeous fabric with large scale. And we have the seed pack, kind of like seed packets here, with butterflies and really a pretty colorway with the greens, and then thrown in here's the butterflies with the ferns. That sounded like a song. Butterfly with the ferns. It's kind of could be apple bottom jeans with the ferns. And then this is the lightest one, and then we have the green. So similar prints. All love these orchids. Look at this artwork. It's really pretty. And then we have some tone on tones, and I love again going from the lighter greens into the darker. We got the ferns, and then we got the orchids again in the light pink, and we have a little bit darker pink, tone on tones, and then finish it off with a perfect stripe with all of the colors, tying it all together. So this is Orchids in Bloom. Gorgeous fabric from Northcott, fresh in the store. And we got one more for you. That one I've shown you, I think, before, and was a pre-order, but it's a gorgeous, I really love this newer designer for Moda. This one's Moody Bloom. So I know many of you have waited for it, and if you remember when we did the Hope Quilt along, her first line I used for my Hope Quilt. So really artsy, big florally prints, along with some almost kind of watercolory effect on these. And these are really cool because we got the blacks, and then we got the lights, and you have all of these colors in here. Look how pretty. Just love the teal with the kind of watermelon pinks. And then we have the kind of tone on tones, but with a little bit of an abstract thing. And look at this. It's a directional stripe, but not a stripe. Really cool texture, all done with a paintbrush. And then ties very much into, here's that print again, into the other colorway, so the blues. So it kind of all flows together. So you can put them all together. Here's the same print, just with the blues and the greens. That's why I just loved throwing them all together, because you can put them all in a quilt and it's just gorgeous. So Moody Bloom is here. If you pre-ordered it, you probably already have it, or it's on the way to you. So that is, yeah, Moody Bloom. I saw a question, do you have the stripe by the yard? This stripe by the yard, I do not, but I am working on getting more of this, so I will find out actually this week if I'm getting that. So that is pretty much how all of fabric ordering works right now. We try and get more, and we just cross our fingers and hope for the best end. Yeah. Usually it's a no-no. That was the case with Norma Rose, but what we got is what we get, and we're going to just appreciate that and place bigger orders for future. Do I carry a lot of plaid fabric? I will buy any plaid fabric I see. Well, not any, maybe, but most, especially if it's a diagonal plaid. So we do have quite a bit with this Wanda quilt along, because I use that for my accent fabric. I use a diagonal plaid for my accent in the model. I think a lot of people have been looking towards that, so we have gone through a lot of plaid fabrics, but I always, every single fabric line I order from, I order extra bolts of the stripes and the plaids because I use them all the time. I love to use them for fun parts of the quilt where I want that little bit of an action, and borders, bindings, stuff like that, sashings. Can you recommend an unusual pattern for baby quilt? Oh, I don't know what you mean unusual. Well, here's the thing. I usually let the fabrics talk when I'm making quilts for babies, so I don't necessarily make a pattern that's really baby-ish. So I would take any of my quilt patterns and work it into a baby quilt, because just using the fabrics that maybe go with the nursery or with kind of the colorways, or maybe there's some really cute fabrics like the Little Forester, or like I love the Outer Space and just that kind of fun theme. So I think any of them would work great. I actually, Sami, when the first Sami quilt I made, before it was even a pattern, was a baby quilt for my grandson Johan. Was his first quilt was from that, for that pattern. I made a Lucy quilt for him too, and I made a JoJo for him. So there's 3 baby quilts that I've made this last year. What company is Moody Bloom made by? It's Moda. So it's by Create Joy Project, I believe. Let me double check it because I am notorious. Create Joy Project, yes. Moody Bloom. It's awesome. Be Grateful is in the store, yeah, so it's no longer as a pre-order, it's in there. And yeah, the bundle is there, and also those charm packs and the layer cakes. We got those. Is the owl fabric in the yardage? No, we only have that right now as a bundle. So if you're interested in stuff like that, you can always send emails if you have recommendations, and I can see if I can get some. But unfortunately, right now, that's all we have in the bundle. Will you be getting more abandoned mosaic indigo? So we are getting more abandoned, but they are not. It's not coming until February. They tell us. So we're getting another round of abandoned. So we have it right now, just the bundles as a pre-order. If you are interested in more of that 3-yard piece or 1 yards, just make sure that it's. I believe it's still listed. If it's not, I'll make sure it's still listed, even though it says sold out. But you can sign up for notifications. So if I do get more, you'll get that notification email sent. What design should I quilt? The Little Roxanne. Little Roxy? Oh, you know what? I had a Little Roxy here somewhere. What's over there, I think. I always say you can do anything with that one. I have done a couple of them. One I did just an all over pattern. And then the other one, I really just kind of outlined the kind of little blossoms it creates. And it was very cool that way. You could do straight lines. You can do very simple things with it because it's so small that you don't want to overwhelm it. Karen is asking, any ETA on Rise? No, we don't know. I get a little inside information from Moda when I see they have a ship date, and nothing yet on Rise. I was looking for it today, actually, so that's why I can answer this question. However, Cider is on the way, which is exciting. That's one of the ones that I've been waiting for, too. Will you be getting Abandoned too? Yes, we'll be getting Abandoned too, and we will be putting that into a bundle as well, and probably put it up for pre-order, hopefully by the end of the month. So look up for that. And they work really well together. If you're wondering, Abandoned 2 is just next, the next Tim Holtz line. Very similar prints, and they all mix together so well. Most of his prints mix together so well. I've been collecting them for years, so I love it. Do I know when Time and Tide is coming? No ship notification yet, but it should be soon. I mean, it had a December ship date. If it had a December ship date, what we're seeing is usually about 4 to 6 weeks later. That's kind of on average with all the fabric companies, and it's because of delays in customs and shipping and the mills. All the fabric companies pretty much use the same mills overseas, and so they are just not able to keep up. So the coffee fabric is made by Wyndham. Yes. All right. Do we have a live winner? All of your comments, guys. It's awesome. Who is our live winner, Mr. HP? Carol Schatz. Did I pronounce this correctly? I hope so. Carol, congratulations. You have won a $25 gift card to the GE Quilt Design store. So please send us a message or an email at help@gequiltdesigns.com, or we will try and get a hold of you and get you that gift card. Congrats, congrats, congrats. And that will be so you can start shopping sooner the better. All right. We're going to finish it off with a giveaway question. So second chance to win. I wanted to say we just got news today. I don't remember if we just talked about this on a Tipsy Tuesday or a Happy Friday show about the Grammy nomination, but the Grammys have been postponed. Now we have to wait 2 extra months to find out, right?
Yes. March 20-something.
March 20-something instead of, it was supposed to happen January 31st, but everything is very overwhelmed because of COVID in LA, so I understand everybody needs to lay low, stay home and sew. Stay home and sew. How awesome is that, right? If we could just make everybody do that. I guess we're the only ones that are excited about that. But that's a beautiful thing. So I can't wait. Next week, of course, will be our kickoff for Wanda. But let's finish it off with a question for the other giveaway. So my question, what was your favorite project of 2020? Look through all the projects you did in 2020. It doesn't have to be my project. Just what was your favorite to work on? For me, I don't know. It was a combination between probably, I can't decide between hope and harmony. Probably harmony, because it just gave me so much. So harmony, I would say, was my favorite project of last year. And then my book. And then. What was your favorite? What was your favorite?
I like Hope.
Hope? Okay. Hope was his favorite. That was fun too. All right, so next week, January 12th, 7 p.m. Central Time, Wanda Quilt Along Kickoff. Can't wait to see you then. But, of course, I'll be live. We'll be live. We'll be here next Friday, 3 p.m. with our Happy Friday show and, of course, a cocktail. First cocktail of the year. Well, if you don't count the one we did on January 1st. It really wasn't a cocktail. Kind of, sort of. So, I can't wait to see you then. Until then, stay safe, press those fabrics, get them ready, and we will get going right away next week. Thank you for being here, everybody. I'll see you next week.